Hello?
Hey, how are you, Allison?
Oh, I'm good. How about you?
Good.
Good. I'm actually here with my son Eli today, too.
I can't see you guys.
Oh, hold on a second. Let's see.
There
We
you go.
go. How's that?
Good.
Yeah,
Where do
say
you guys
hi.
live?
We're in Wisconsin.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, in the middle of Wisconsin where it's very cold, so.
Oh, well, it's not
Or spring.
that tropical in here either, so.
No, you're in Boston, aren't
Yeah.
you? Yeah, good. Well, we have a couple of questions for you
Sure.
today, if you have some time. All right. First of all, we were wondering, how did you first get started on the Animal Planet?
Well, I've always had an interest in creatures, and I remember like it was yesterday, being 6 years old and discovering my first snake at my grandparents' house, to traveling around as a teenager to all parts of the world, and then going to college, all that sort of stuff. And then I had a show on Disney for 3 years called Going Wild. And then from there, I was approached by Animal Planet, and they had an interest in taking it to not only just a family audience but an adult audience. So I transitioned from Disney to Animal Planet and the Discovery networks.
Cool. Why do you like to do this job? What is it that you?
Well, it's my life. It's more than just a job. I've always had a great fascination for animals and wildlife and habitat. Now, as a biologist, I'm really fascinated by our relationship with natural resources. And for me, I get an incredible charge when I'm there in a really beautiful, really neat, wild ecosystem and seeing the life forms that inhabit that place and watching just nature unfold before me. And to be able to interpret that to a global audience, for me is I remember when I've been doing this now for a good 15 years, and I remember the first time with my first TV series, being in a jungle in Central America, telling that story, knowing that in some manifestation, in some way, this would be the career that I would take for the rest of my life.
Very cool. Who or what inspired you to start a career with animals?
I think lots of classic inspirations from the great founders of American conservation, from Teddy Roosevelt to John Muir to Aldo Leopold. But I think it was probably above that was my grandmother. My grandmother loved birds, and she was the one in the neighborhood who took in all the orphan baby birds. And I remember being 4 years old, 5 years old, with her, watching her carefully with tweezers feeding little baby robins.
Oh, cute.
And being there and being at that moment, or being there, falling in love with this robin, and after 6 weeks, knowing that it has to fledge and be released back in the environment. It was really in their backyard where I found my first snake and literally used the idea of being the naturalist, armed with a magnifying glass and a notebook and a field guide and the skills and tools that I was developing for observation. And I think with this program, with the Lunchables, Lunch, Roar, and Score, this campaign that I'm working with is a great opportunity for young folks out there to maybe have that unique experience that I had. What we'll be doing is when they participate, there'll be 10 of them that go through the Lunchables.com website that will join me this autumn, and we will go to the places that inspired me as a kid in the community where I live, to the local aquarium, the New England Aquarium, that was there when I was curious, that allowed me to come face to face with a sea turtle for the first time, or to the Franklin Park Zoo, which saw that I had a very special interest and allowed me to actually help take care of their snakes as a young adolescent. So we'll be doing that for those who win this contest.
So this whole contest is a way for you to kind of inspire kids like you were inspired when you were a child.
Yeah, and for us to sort of connect. I believe animals are incredibly important to us. We depend on them and learn from them and survive off them and are inspired from them. And I think that I do what I do today because of that magical once-in-a-lifetime moment of discovery. The garter snake moment as a kid is as powerful to me as seeing an elephant seal on the coastline of Santa Cruz, or being there to see a new species get discovered. And I think that what's neat about this is in fall when these young folks come up, I think we're not just going on a tour of a zoo or an aquarium. We're going behind the scenes, and we're actually getting into the action of what makes these places so special.
Very cool. Sounds like a great opportunity. What is the thing that you love the most about your job?
I think a lot of people probably imagine the moments that I love the most are the ones with energy and drama and maybe a little pinch of adventure and jeopardy. For me, my favorite moments is when I can just sort of almost have this outer body experience where I get to really focus in on melting in with the landscape, working on my skills of being quiet and being invisible. And when you have that moment where you can, as I always tell my daughter, to be the fly on the wall, when I'm in a jungle and I have found a way where I've been able to conceal myself to witness an animal species being an animal, not knowing it's being observed, and actually having a chance to witness a unique type of behavior. That's, to me, the most exciting moments. For example, to be there, we live in a little island. I go to the tidal pools with my daughter and daughters now. And, the first thing you do, you go down to the tidal pool, everything scatters. The birds fly away. The crabs, they scuttle underneath the rocks. The minnows, they swim to the shadows. But then I try to teach my daughter to stay there, be quiet, to resist the urge to stick her, finger down the clam hole, just to sit there and wait. And then all of a sudden, the crab comes out, the fish begin to perk, and now you are there. You're the rock, and you get to observe things that few people get to witness. So that minnow and that little New England rock crab is, to me, just as exciting as seeing lemurs go through a canopy rainforest in Madagascar.
Great.